How often do we walk in the garden and the only thing we really start focusing on are the fruits, like the okra growing, the tomatoes growing, the peppers growing. But today what I want you to do is this. I want you to walk through your garden and look and see who's visiting your garden. August is one of the busiest months of the year, and I think you'll be surprised at just how much life is happening all throughout your garden. Broken this video down into 5 categories. First off, let's talk about the pollinators, right? Those are the ones that come in and obviously they pollinate all of your flowers, or the majority of your flowers, right? Those insects are the following: honeybees, native bees, bumblebees, butterflies, hoverflies, and so many more. But those are just to name a few. Now, when they're in your garden, right? Tell me you don't see them when they're in your garden. We always see the bees, right? We always see the butterflies. Like right now, right over there, the basil is just covered in honeybees, just going crazy. Do we actually, or let me put it this way, do you actually take your time and focus on those bees, those pollinators? I know we all, and I'm guilty of this, stop whenever you see a butterfly, right? Because you're like, oh, where's it going? I gotta get a picture. And we watch those butterflies, right? But what about your hoverflies? What about your bumblebees? What about your honeybees? What about all those crazy bees that kind of look freaky and wild, right? Those are the ones that we need to, I'm challenging you today after watching this video to go in your garden. Maybe don't look so much at all the fruit that's growing, all the vegetables that are growing, all the amazing stuff that's growing, but look and see who is visiting your garden. Okay, so we just talked about the pollinators. Now, let's talk about the hunters. You want a diverse ecosystem in your garden. That's gonna come with your flowers, it's gonna come with all your vegetables and your fruits and everything that comes into your garden. Pollinators are just one of those groups of insects that come into your garden. The second group I want to talk about, like I just mentioned, are the hunters. Now, what am I talking about with that? Well, this list right here, just to name a few: praying mantises, assassin bugs, dragonflies, spiders, lizards, frogs. All of those insects slash animals are the hunters that are in your ecosystem, right? They're in here because you created an amazing garden where they can all thrive, where they can all live, where they can do their thing, protect your garden. Now, out of that list, the only ones that I don't currently have in this garden are the praying mantises. Found a few at work before, brought them home, and you know, they do whatever they do, they leave. But assassin bugs I have all over this garden. Spiders, I know a lot of people don't like spiders. I used to be that guy. I used to be like, hey, I don't want to be around a spider. Now I don't care. Remember this: spiders in your garden are a beneficial insect. I know you might not want to hear that, but they are. They are going to help your garden. They are going to help rid your garden of pests. Now, they also, just like a praying mantis and an assassin bug, they can go after beneficials, but that's nature, y'all. That's just nature. It's part of the game. But create that environment that is going to attract not just the bees, but also the frogs, the lizards, like I showed at the very beginning, that I'm looking at right now, right over there. You want to bring all them in to help your garden. So when you're out there today, look for things. Do you have a toad that likes to live under a specific flower pot? Do you have multiple different types of lizards in your backyard? What about that one garden spider that you've kind of like, that's your corner? Go watch it. I challenge you. Go watch that spider build its web and do its thing. You can't beat it when your ecosystem is thriving. Okay, so if you're wondering what's going on, I'm staying in the shade because right now it's 90 with a heat index right now currently of 100. It's hot out here, so hats on, staying in the shade as much as possible. Let's talk about that third group, and those are the opportunists. The first two categories are the good insects, right? The good animals. So with good, you have to have the bad, right? So those are the opportunists. Those are the insects such as aphids, grasshoppers, squash bugs, leaf-footed bugs, armyworms, hornworms, and you name it. I'm sure we can all keep coming up with more and more of those types of insects, right? Now, again, if you're having a good ecosystem, you are going to have those bad pests. That's part of it, right? You have to have the good with the bad with the good. It's just the way nature is. But if you have a healthy ecosystem, then you are more than likely going to have more of the good insects than the bad insects. At least we really hope so, right? We really hope so. One thing to remember is most beneficial insects will help keep your garden in a healthy balance. Now you might be like, well, Chad, I've got a bean plant that is covered in aphids, and I'm only seeing a couple, 3, 4, 5 ladybugs. That's okay. At least you got those 3, 4, 5 ladybugs, right? Aphids are one of those things that just they breed and breed and breed and breed, and they'll just take over stuff. Just part of being a gardener, dealing with what nature throws at us. But what you want to do is focus on ensuring that you have that healthy ecosystem where the good insects or animals can help police your garden, keeping everything in a good, healthy balance. Now, I'm going to be real. If a section of your garden gets out of hand, don't be afraid to pull those plants. Get rid of those plants if you need to. If you've got a bush bean group of plants that are just covered head to toe in aphids, or say cucumbers, things like that, just pull them, y'all. Get rid of them. They don't need to stay there. There's no amount of beneficial insects that's going to really help mitigate a legit outbreak of aphids or whatever. So don't be afraid to pull them if you need to pull them. Biggest thing. But keep your eye on those punk opportunistic insects. Okay, fourth group of workers in your garden are those quiet workers. Now, Chad, what are you talking about with quiet workers? What insects could that be? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's the following. Here's an example of them. Earthworms, beetles, pill bugs, millipedes, fungi, soil microbes. Now, I did a video last week on the hidden highways under our soil beds, right? In our beds, under the surface level of our beds, down in the soil, right? That fungi, those microphyzals that are going everywhere and helping each plant do its thing and communicate with each other. And I had also mentioned earthworms, but remember, a lot of times when you are seeing a healthy garden, again, it's because your ecosystem is good, but it also has to do with a lot of what's going on in your beds, right? In your gardens. And how often do we see beetles? How often do we pay attention to millipedes? How often are we thinking about those earthworms? We don't see them, right? So they're out of sight, out of mind kind of a thing. Or how about this, the fungi, those microphyzal fungi that create those highways all through your soil beds. We never see those, but they're there. They're working. They're thriving. They're pushing our gardening agenda to get everything to grow and to produce and to thrive, right? So we should be incredibly thankful for those. And as such, today, when you're out in your garden, maybe there's that section of your garden that you need to de-weed, right? You need to yank out all the weeds and all that. Well, when you do it, take your time and really look. What is around there? Are you going to see beetles? When you pull out a chunk of something, maybe a big clump of dirt comes up. How'd I get an ant on my ear? That's weird. Well, look and see. Maybe you're going to have those earthworms in your soil. You know what I mean? Like, those are the hidden heroes in our gardens. The ones that we don't see, the ones that we don't even think about, right? But they're there. They're doing their job. Think about those earthworms. When they're going through the soil, they're leaving their castings behind, right? That's doing nothing but helping fertilize your soils. So that group isn't one that I could say, hey, go out there and sit down and watch. Not like bees or assassin bugs or spiders. So even though you might not see these insects or these helpers in your garden today when you're doing your garden walk, think about them. Think about what they're doing, and that they are a vital part to our ecosystems in our gardens. Okay, so let's finish the video over here because the sun is just getting to be too much. Let's talk about the final category of visitors to our garden, and those are the unexpected guests. Now, where do you think I'm going with this category? If you happen to think, okay, probably four-legged visitors, then you're right. Here are a few examples of just what I'm about to talk about. Birds, hummingbirds, toads, snakes, squirrels, rodents, neighborhood cats, neighborhood dogs, raccoons, possums, you name it. Unexpected guests. These are a category that most of us probably don't want to deal with. Well, we don't mind birds, right? For the most part. Most of us probably don't really mind hummingbirds. I don't at all. In fact, I love seeing hummingbirds in the garden. Like, who doesn't, right? Now, birds can be a bit of a pain. Why do I feel like I got ants all over me? Now, I know birds can be a bit of a pain at times. Squirrels, definitely. I hear it all the times in the comments about squirrels. I have a rat that has taken up residence right over here behind me, somewhere over there. I've tried to catch him and just can't. Like, the thing is smart, which is fine, whatever. Again, not something I want in the backyard, but he's actually also not really doing anything. He's not tearing up crops or anything like that. So I'm not really tripping on it, but again, not wanted, right? They're unexpected. Neighborhood cats, I'm showing one right here that lives in that house, that when they let it out, it comes over here, does its bathroom stuff in my grass, and it's not a benefit at all. And then my dog doesn't do anything. It'll walk over and say hi to it, not even chase it. So again, snakes. I know I just said the S word. Those aren't necessarily always a bad thing. Y'all have to remember there's more non-poisonous snakes than there are poisonous snakes. And more than likely, depending on where you are, more than likely, if you have a snake in your backyard, it's probably not a poisonous one. But I know a lot of us freak out, it's a snake. I don't mind them as long as I know what they are. If it's a non-poisonous snake, I leave them alone. I don't care. But that's me. And those snakes get lucky if they're in my backyard, because I'm not just going to outright end them. I'm going to verify what they are first and then deal with it after that. But again, if you have a diverse ecosystem in your garden, you're going to be bringing in those kind of animals. All right, maybe not a neighborhood cat, so to speak, but squirrels are going to be opportunistic to come get food, right? As much as we don't like that. Rabbits. My buddy, the crock gardener, Doug, he's dealing with all kinds of rabbit issues where he is. Again, he didn't invite them in, but they're there, so he has to deal with them, right? So again, a thriving, healthy ecosystem is going to bring in all kinds of things. Think about this. If you have snakes in your backyard, it's because you have a food source that has found a home in your backyard. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I know probably everyone in the comment right now is like, Chad, that's a bad thing. Okay, I mean, I see your point. I get it. But with the good visitors, you're going to have those bad visitors, those naughty visitors that we don't want to see. Just keep that in mind. A healthy ecosystem is going to bring everything in. And if your garden is doing what it should be doing, you should have that big bat signal welcome sign to all of them, the good, the bad, the ugly. So it's just part of gardening, right? All right, y'all, with ending this video, let me just challenge you right here. When you go out in your garden, whether it's right after this video, it's tomorrow morning, it's later tonight, whenever you go out in your garden, I challenge you not to just go focus on the crops. I challenge you to take 5 minutes, maybe just 5 minutes. If you can do longer, do longer. And just go out there and look and see who's visiting your garden. Right now I have a hoverfly. I'm gonna try to get a picture of it. Hold on, it'll fly off. Actually, that's not a hoverfly, that's some sort of bee. But again, that's a bee. I don't know what kind that thing was, but it's obviously a bee of some kind, so it's a beneficial insect, because I know it's not out here to eat my crops. Here's one I didn't mention that I consider a beneficial. Look at that wasp, y'all. That big old wasp. Let's see where to go. There it is. Over here on the strawberry plants. Look at that thing. Okay, so most people are gonna be like, try to kill it. No, that wasp doesn't care about me. You know what that wasp does care about? Aphids, caterpillars, things like that they will eat. I've seen them eat them. And the moment that I saw them eating a caterpillar, I've since then left those things alone. I just let them be, because they're beneficial. They're going to help your garden. You might not think it, but they will. And with that all being said, y'all, I hope y'all got something out of this video. I hope you learned something. I hope you got inspired to maybe just go outside and just walk around your garden and look at everything that's not growing. Look at all your visitors that are coming in, and be thankful for the ecosystem that you have created. And if that is the case, please do me the 5 favors: share, like, comment, hype. Subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. Join this fast-growing community of like-minded gardeners here on YouTube. Y'all take care. May God continue to bless each and every one of you, your gardens, your visitors to your garden. And I'll talk to you again real soon.